There is a sentence so short, so quiet, so completely unremarkable on paper that almost no one would guess it has the power to make another human being think about you for weeks. 6 words. That's all. Marcus Aurelius never said them out loud to impress anyone. Epictetus never said them to seduce anyone. And yet, buried in the discipline both men practiced every single day of their lives, is the exact psychological mechanism that makes a person magnetic, unforgettable, and yes, obsessed. Not because you chase them, because you didn't. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand something about human attention that most people go their entire lives never figuring out. The channel where ancient philosophy meets the battles of modern life. If you're new here, welcome, you've arrived at exactly the right moment. And if you've been with us before, you already know we don't do surface-level advice. We go into the original texts and pull out what actually works. Hit subscribe if this is your kind of thing, and stay until the end, because the 6 words themselves come later. But if I told them to you right now, without the philosophy underneath them, they would mean nothing. Said without understanding, they're just words. Said with the weight of 2,000 years of Stoic discipline behind them, they are a complete reprogramming of how people experience you. Let's begin with a question. Why do we become obsessed with anything? Not just people, anything. Think about it honestly. You don't obsess over what you already have. You don't lie awake thinking about the air you're breathing right now. You obsess over what feels slightly out of reach, what withholds itself just barely from your grasp. The Stoics understood this mechanism of desire long before modern psychology gave it a name. Epictetus, in the Enchiridion, made a distinction that is the foundation of everything we're about to discuss. Some things are within our control and some things are not. He taught that peace comes from releasing your grip on the things outside your control, other people's opinions, their attention, whether they like you, whether they stay. Here is what almost nobody tells you. The same principle that gives a Stoic peace of mind is precisely the quality that makes other people unable to stop thinking about them. Why neediness, repels, and detachment attracts. Let's be honest about something first. Most people, when they want to be liked, do the opposite of what actually works. They explain themselves more. They check in more. They perform more. They chase. Seneca, writing to his friend Lucilius, warned against exactly this instinct. He wrote about the danger of depending on the crowd's judgment of you, of shaping yourself around what will make others approve. And here is the part almost everyone misses. A person who needs your approval is predictable. A person who needs nothing from you is fascinating because you cannot map them. You cannot control them by giving or withholding your affection because they were never asking for it in the first place. The Greek word the Stoics used for this internal self-sufficiency was autarkeia, self-sufficiency, completeness from within, not arrogance, not coldness, a quiet, total wholeness that doesn't require anyone else's presence to feel whole. Think about the people in your own life who have this quality, the ones who are warm, present, engaged, but who never seem to need your validation to be okay. Notice how different your attention feels around them compared to someone who is constantly checking whether you approve of them. One drains you, the other pulls you in without even trying. This is not manipulation. It's important to say that clearly because the Stoics had no patience for manipulation dressed as philosophy. This is the natural consequence of genuine internal freedom. And it just so happens that genuine internal freedom is the single most magnetic quality a human being can carry. The story of Cato and the Senate. There's an account of Cato the Younger, deeply influenced by Stoic thought, standing in the Roman Senate while his political enemies mocked him, tried to provoke him, tried to bait him into a reaction that would make him look desperate or unstable. Cato did not defend himself. He did not explain. He simply continued, unmoved, entirely his own. and history records that his composure unsettled his enemies far more than any argument could have. People couldn't stop talking about him, not because he sought their attention, but because he so clearly didn't need it. This is the exact energy behind the 6 words you're about to learn. They are not a trick. They are the verbal expression of autarkeia, a sentence that, spoken with genuine internal calm, tells another person something almost no one else in their life is telling them. The 6 words, here they are. I don't need anything from you. Read that again. Sit with the discomfort of it for a second, because your instinct might be that this sounds cold, distant, even hostile. It is the exact opposite. Said with warmth. Said while looking someone directly in the eye. Said not as rejection, but as an honest description of your internal state. This sentence does something remarkable. It removes the transactional weight from the relationship entirely. It tells the other person, I am not here auditioning for your approval. I am not here to extract validation, security, or reassurance from you. I am here complete, and whatever happens between us happens from freedom, not need. Epictetus wrote, man is disturbed not by things, but by the opinions about things. Apply that here. Most relationships are disturbed not by what people actually do, but by the constant anxious calculation underneath them. Do they like me? Are they going to leave? Did I say the right thing? The 6 words dissolve that calculation entirely for both people. And when someone feels that dissolving in your presence, when they feel, often for the first time, a version of closeness that has no anxious current running beneath it, they don't forget it. They think about it. They come back to it. That is the beginning of obsession in the healthiest sense the word can carry. Why this works? 3 Stoic mechanisms. Mechanism 1. You become unpredictable in the best way. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the best revenge is to not become like the one who wronged you, to simply remain who you are. In relationships, most people are reactive. They escalate when ignored, soften when chased, harden when criticized. A person who has genuinely internalized, I don't need anything from you, doesn't move like that. And a mind that cannot predict you is a mind that cannot stop paying attention to you. Mechanism 2. You remove the power struggle. Every relationship, romantic, professional, familial, has an invisible current of who needs whom more. The person who needs less almost always holds more presence in the room, not through dominance, but through calm. Seneca called this the discipline of retiring into yourself, building an inner citadel so complete that external approval becomes optional rather than essential. Mechanism 3. You give people permission to be real. Here is the most overlooked part. When you release your need for someone's approval, you inadvertently release their need to perform for you. People can feel on some pre-verbal level when they are finally in the presence of someone who isn't grading them. And that feeling of being fully seen without being fully needed is one of the rarest experiences a person can have in modern life. Rare things become unforgettable. How to actually say it and mean it. I want to be honest with you here, the way I try to be on every video on this channel. These 6 words are worthless if you say them while internally screaming for the opposite. The Stoics had 0 tolerance for performance disguised as philosophy. If you say, I don't need anything from you while your hands are shaking and your whole nervous system is begging for reassurance, the other person will feel the lie underneath the words instantly. So before you ever say this sentence out loud to another person, you have to build the internal reality it describes. 3 practices, straight from Stoic tradition. Practice 1, the evening audit. Each night, ask yourself honestly, where today did I perform for someone's approval instead of acting from my own values? Epictetus recommended this kind of review not as self-punishment, but as self-knowledge. Practice 2, voluntary withdrawal. Spend deliberate time, an evening, a weekend, completely disconnected from anyone's validation. No posting, no checking, no performing. Seneca called this retreating into yourself. It rebuilds the muscle of being okay alone, which is the only foundation from which "I don't need anything from you" can be said honestly. Practice 3. The dichotomy check. Before any interaction that matters to you, silently ask, what here is in my control and what is not? Their opinion of you is not. Your integrity in the moment is. Anchor to the second one, and the 6 words stop being a technique and start being simply true. The deeper truth. Here's what I want to leave you with tonight. This video is not really about becoming irresistible to other people. That's the hook that got you here, and I won't pretend otherwise. But the Stoics were never interested in techniques for winning people over. They were interested in freedom. And the strange, almost paradoxical gift of that freedom is that the more completely you stop needing people's approval, admiration, or attention, the more of it tends to come to you unasked. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Build that retreat first. The 6 words will follow naturally because they'll finally be true. If this video gave you something today, hit the like button. It costs nothing and tells us this kind of depth is what you want more of. Leave a comment and tell me, who in your life do you most need to say these 6 words to, and who do you most need to say them to yourself? I read every comment on this channel. Subscribe to Wisdom of the Stoics if you haven't already. We go this deep every single week. Until next time, stay grounded, stay free, and remember, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.